study?
All right. So, I am not going to start from the beginning, I guess, because I think many of you here have actually heard me talk about the start of my mental health journey so many times. But don't worry, where I'm starting will give you some context. Last 2 weeks, I went to see my psychiatrist for my usual therapy, psychotherapy. And that was about 1 month plus after the passing of my father. And when I reached there, I went to see my psychiatrist and I told her, these past few weeks, my anxiety level has been acting up. It's been going up and down, up and down, up and down. Like so many times I get so worried about things. And then she asked me, do you know why? And I said, well, because I was expecting to slip into depression mode after my father's passing, because death is a huge trigger. But surprisingly, I'm somewhat normal emotionally. I'm not depressed in any way. And for some reason that worries me, because for someone with bipolar disorder, when a huge trigger like that happens, it's very, very easy to slip into depression. And I was worried because I wasn't depressed. I was normal. I'm even now I'm still having normal moods. And the doctor said, you know, just take it one day at a time and try not to think so much about having episodes. And the point I'm trying to tell you is this is what people like me, people with bipolar disorder, go through our entire lives. We expect to slip into either depression or hypomania at any point in our life. And for some, and sometimes the things that we think might trigger symptoms, might trigger an episode, suddenly they don't trigger anything. You're not triggered by it, and you're normal. And that is that uncertainty is what's troubling us, people with bipolar disorder. It's we don't know what our mood will be like next week. We think we might be normal next week, but then suddenly out of the blue, we just slip into depression or hypomania. And yes, I am still on medication. I haven't missed a day of medication, but the medications don't keep the symptoms away. They help me manage the symptoms. They help me regulate my moods and be more alert of the changes in my moods. But an episode is inevitable. It just helps me manage the medication just helped me manage the severity of the symptoms, depression and hypomania. So that is the reason why I share my story with the public, because I know that a lot of people my age, I'm 44 this year, by the way, and a lot of people my age, working adults, working professionals, who may not have mental disorders like bipolar disorder or GAD, general anxiety disorder, or major depressive disorder, but they go through mental health challenges all the time. But they are also unwilling to speak up or even admit that they are facing mental health challenges, out of fear of, especially being a working professional. You might miss out on promotions. Your colleagues will treat you differently. They will even look at you differently. All this stigma that surrounds people with mental health issues in the workplace. And that is one major reason why I decided to share my story out there, so that people like me don't feel alone. They can see that, and I mean, I'm not putting myself out there to be the hero or the face of bipolar disorders or of people with bipolar disorders, but I just want them to see that we can live a fulfilling life despite having a mental disorder like bipolar disorder or major depressive disorder or anything. And yeah, so basically that is the story that I will be putting out in our 365 stories book.
Thank you so much, Afzan, for sharing briefly about your story. Anyone has any question to ask Afzan regarding her story? Okay, I see hands raised by Jay and Sham. So Jay,
Jay's not here. Sham's here. Sorry,
Hi,
it's
Sham.
Jay's phone I'm using, so it's Jay. Hi, Afzan. Afzan, I just love what you're doing. Despite all the challenges, now you have you were only diagnosed when you were 38. So can you describe how? I mean, I don't want
Yep.
to bring back bad memories, but the difference or the percentage of comfort that you experience after going on meds, like compared to before meds or before being diagnosed.
Okay. That is a very, very good question because you see, I'm not saying I love being on medication, because to be honest, the medications make me sleepy a lot, especially during the day when I'm working. But it does help regulate my mood. Now, I didn't grow up knowing anything about mental health. I was a child of the 80s, so there was no such thing as having mental health issues. You're either crazy or you're not. That's it. So, yeah. And I actually noticed there were instances in my life where I was somewhat not normal. For example, when I was in university, uh, I I was studying architecture, 3 years diploma and 3 years degree. So in my diploma years, the 3 years, I was hit with a major depressive episode in the third year, the final year of my diploma. And uh I was failing because I was not attending class. I was not doing my group work, group assignments. My classmates were all already labeling me as lazy, uncooperative, and whatever else. And I don't blame them because I didn't know what was wrong with myself. How could they know? And and to be honest, if I were in their place, I would also probably think the same thing. So I was failing, and I graduated with barely enough marks to pass. And then when I was taking my degree, I was hit with hypomania. And in hypomania, that's when all the creative ideas started flowing endlessly. And I ended up being on the dean's list twice. It was like I was two different people in diploma and during degree. And that at that moment, I did wonder what was wrong with me. I didn't think that when I was hypomanic, I never thought that I was ill in any way, because when I'm hypomanic, I have high energy, I'm talkative, I'm very social with people, I talk to people. And yeah, basically I didn't think there was anything wrong when I was hypomanic. But in depression, you know there's something wrong. And the difference between that time and now is that now I have more awareness. I am more alert of the changes in my mood. I make sure I know how I feel that day. And yes, the medication does help stabilize my mood in, I don't know how to describe it. It just helps me to stabilize my mood. and I understand that medication is not for everyone. It doesn't work on everyone, but it works for me. And I'm very, very grateful that um I had the support, not just awareness among my family members, but also my friends, but also their support. I don't know how else to describe it, because they've been supporting me. They when I said I've been seeing a psychiatrist, they didn't say, "Oh, you didn't need to see a psychiatrist. There was nothing wrong with you." No one ever said that, at least in my family and among my close friends. So I hope that answers your question,
Yeah.
Sham.
Thank you so much, Afzan, for sharing honestly. Thank you.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank
thank
you.
you so much, Sham, for the question. Next we have Jack with a question. Jack, you want to ask Afsan your question?
Yes, Afzan. Good evening.
Hi.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Afzan. It's regarding your emotions. I was wondering, how do you control your emotions in public or even during the Zoom session? Because after I was diagnosed with Parkinson, in the beginning, I was very emotional every time when I'm speaking to anyone. Even family members, when I see them, I'll be hugging and crying. So I just want to know, how do you control these emotions?
Oh, Jack, first of all, believe me when I tell you there is no right or wrong way to 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 face whatever you're going through, because different people react to different things in different ways. If I were in your shoes, I probably wouldn't have the same reaction or the same emotions that you do now. So what I can say is, when you feel something, embrace it, allow yourself to feel it. Because when you don't, I think that is when, your body fights against your mind. Your body is trying to do something else, but your mind is telling you, don't, and in terms of controlling my emotions, I suppose I'm not saying I'm an expert on this, because I'm the only human, so sometimes I do deflect all these emotions. But I think it's important to allow yourself to be vulnerable to your own emotions. If you feel like crying, just cry it out. People can judge you. They're going to judge you anyway, no matter how you react, no matter how controlled you seem. People are going to judge you if you control your emotions, and people are going to judge you if you don't. So do what is right for you. If you feel like crying, go ahead, just cry, because those who matter won't mind. And those who mind don't matter.
Yes. Thank you, Isvan.
Right.
Thank you very much. Bye.
I think that's by Eleanor Roosevelt, one of my favorites.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jack, for the question and the brilliant answer from Afzan. Any more questions? You want to ask?
I want to
Okay,
say
Betty.
something, not question, but I really want to applaud Afsan, because
Oh.
you really have that bravery and the courage to share what you have gone through with the challenges that you face. This is something, it melts my heart. I really applaud you, because you were so daring to share an episode of your life, which is so dear to you, what you have gone through. Because I have also encountered close relative of mine who has gone through depression. The first thing that came to the mind is commit suicide, which he did. So this is something, but you were so brave. You take on the challenges, and you even ignore people who spite on you. They commented on you. And now, with your sharing, I could really feel, if I am in your shoe, what would be the eventual episode. You are so brave to even share. This is something that I really salute you. Afsan, you are great.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Betty. But I can tell you that every time I share, I speak to people and tell my story, my body will be shaking because it's fight or flight, and my body is saying run away. And every time I go up on stage and share my story, I shake because it's something it's traumatic to relive everything again and again and again, but at the same time I feel like it's something that I need to do because one of the things that my therapist also taught me was find something that is bigger than yourself. Do something that is more than just about you. Because the world doesn't revolve around you. The world doesn't revolve around me. And do something that will help others. Because helping others, it's cliche, yes, but helping others does help you.
Okay, the question I personally want to ask you is from the story that you have related, is it because during your time when you pursue your degree, with so many people really like commenting on you, was that the beginning of that worsening stage, or was it because of that the passing of your father, because someone so dear to you that you have gone through that type of mental depression? So which was it that actually aggravated? Which stage? Was it the university stage, or was it the father? Which came first?
My father passed like last month, Betty, 16th
Oh,
April. Yeah, so that's recent. That's why when I was earlier, I was telling you that I went to see my psychiatrist because I was worried that I did not slip into a depression episode because I was expecting it, because death of a loved one is a trigger, and I was expecting to be depressed, but I wasn't. I'm still not, and for some reason it worries me. And that roller coaster, that uncertainty is what, is what's killing me, to tell you the truth, because it's a constant worry, because I know that eventually I will crash. And when that moment comes, yeah, I have learned how to manage it, and I know what to do when I slip into depression episode. But still, crashing is not something that I would want to go through again. Yeah. And when you ask, like, what was the thing that aggravated, or rather triggered the symptoms the most, it's quite difficult to say, because um I was born with the genes to have, bipolar disorder. My mother had depression at one point in her life, and um anything could be triggering, Betty.
I see, I see.
Yeah, especially when I keep everything bottled up inside. It's like, sometimes I can, like right now, I'm not depressed, but who knows, tomorrow somebody might eat the last piece of fried chicken and I'd be bursting into tears. I don't know. Yeah.
But you make me remember you more because you said your dad passed on last month, April 16. That was my birthday.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank
I
you so
really
much.
love your sharing. So courageous.
Thank you so much, Betty. And thank you, Afzan, and our deepest condolences, Afzan, on your loss.
Thank
Anybody else
you.
want to ask Afzan question, or want to see, wants to share something?
I don't have a question. Betty sort of said some of what I wanted to say. I commend you for your bravery and courage, to talk about this. I resonate with you, not because of the condition you have, but because of the challenges that I've dealt with, and especially more so since the pandemic hit and all that. So I agree. I'm not trying to lessen the symptoms of bipolar or all that. Yeah, I hear it's about extremes. It's a really low and a very high, which is the mania.
Yes.
But it does help, I believe from what you said and from what I experienced, sharing about the challenges, because it lightens the load mentally and emotionally. It doesn't take it away, but it just gives you some relief, so it doesn't feel like so overwhelming. And also talking about it or putting it out there, just like you want to help people, I realize that when you also share this, it gives the courage and the space for other people to know that they're not alone, that there are others who are facing similar struggles or challenges. It may not be exactly the same, but
Yes.
at times you feel like you're alone, even though you're not alone. And everyone tries to say the best, say things and do things. They mean well, but sometimes it doesn't quite help lah. But we can't blame them. I don't blame them. So I just wanted to give you this feedback that you are really amazing. Coming from
Thank
someone
you.
who still is dealing with some challenges, uh, it's good. This is like heartening for me lah. And I want to give back that love and positive energy to you. So thank you for your sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christian. Anybody else want to ask Afzal any question, further question, or want to share something? If you have any question, okay, we have a hand raised from Sham.
Again, okay.
Yeah.
Afzan, I once followed someone dear to me to a psychiatric clinic in KL, and I was talking to the nurse, and she said that sometimes it's difficult because in Malaysian society, people say that when someone behaves differently, they're affected by black magic. Okay, so this is quite common. It's common. It's sad. When in actual fact, it is a psychological problem. So have you, in your work, when you're addressing people, do you also talk about this? Like, to encourage people to go and get diagnosed, because I think there is so much relief after getting a proper diagnosis, correct? Or what would you
Yes.
like to say about it?
Yes. Without denying the existence of the spiritual world, because I do know people who have been affected, truly have been affected by black magic, and by people who
Yeah,
are
I agree with you. I've seen
yes,
some as well. Yeah.
yes. But even because I'm a Muslim, even in Islam, we encourage finding knowledge and science and believing science, because science is knowledge and science is, it's factual. It's and we are actually encouraged to seek help when facing illness, any kind of illness, even mental ones. And Islam does acknowledge the existence of mental health issues or mental disorders. There's no way around it. What Malaysian society needs more now is, without denying the existence of black magic, is to go to science first, to go to the medical side of things first, rather than going straight away to black magic just because somebody is behaving differently. It could be black magic, yes, but instead of immediately thinking, oh, somebody said something to you, why don't you go see a psychiatrist first and see, because it could be something else. So yeah, I think that there is still a lot of work that needs to be done in Malaysia in terms of understanding mental health. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sham,
I
for
think that's good, and it's so amazing. It's a quirky way of saying it. Just one more add-on, sorry. I just a quirky way of saying it, but it's strange. But I feel this like from your challenge, it has turned out to be a blessing for you, because in some ways it's like God is granting you a purpose. a really important purpose in your life, for you to share your life. So I'm just thinking that, you're in God's hands in such a wonderful way. And thank you for all that you do every day.
When life gives you lemon, baby.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, L has a question. L.
Yeah, I think you're not alone because a famous celebrity like Mariah Carey, I think you know who Mariah Carey, the greatest singer of all time, also has a mental and
Yes.
physical breakdown where she was
Yes.
hospitalized. So there's many, many other people, Robert Downey Jr. as well, the Iron Man, and a few more. So basically, I think you're not alone here. So people, only thing is that when you have this, you have to go through a therapy. We call it CBT, right? Cognitive behavioral therapy. So I'd like to ask you, is there any medicine which are not Western, that can actually cure you? For example, like herbs or anything that you have actually studied through, gone through. I mean, something that's not so toxic, because sometimes all this medicine from the WHO and all that, it makes you have a lot of side effect when you take them. So have you actually studied further beyond that, like maybe some herbal medicine or anything, like pure natural therapy, naturopathy medicine that actually can help you to suppress, uh, bipolar.
Well, I've heard that chamomile tea can actually, help you calm down, but I'm not a tea drinker, so uh yeah, yeah, I try not to tell people to take or not to take medicines because it's not my place to do so. But what I can say is that recovery or healing is not just about taking medication. It's about changing the way, changing your lifestyle, changing the way you approach things. Because previously I was not even mindful at all about my moods. I just let it be. But now I am more mindful, and it's also about moving. Depression hates movement. So sometimes when I feel like, I feel the start of depression, I go out and just take a walk because depression hates movement. So it's what's the word? It's a holistic approach. It's not just about taking medications. It's about a change of lifestyle, a change of your mindset, a change of environment. Sometimes it requires burning bridges, and that's okay because some people are just not meant to stay in your life. And that's all right. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just, it's just a cycle that needs to end right there. And at the same time, I'm also sad to say that there are mental health professionals who, how do I say this without offending people, who they preach being kind to people with mental disorders, but at the same time, they expect you to behave normally. You get what I mean? Yeah. Yes. I'm not saying all because thankfully my doctor is not like that, but I have met mental health professionals who well, basically they don't practice what they preach. Yeah. So it can be very confusing and it can be very demotivating if the help you get comes from people like that. So again, it's about knowing your boundaries, knowing yourself. Self-awareness is very important. And it's not just about taking medication. If herbal tea work for you, if any, what's the, I forget the name of the homeopathy. If homeopathy works for you, good. If medication work for you, medicines work for you, that's also good. There's no right or wrong because you just have to do you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Al. Um, anybody else have question to ask Afzan? If there's no question, Afzan, if you don't mind, can I ask you a
Maybe
question?
I will just add
Okay,
something,
Betty. Yeah.
Afzan. I
Yes.
have a couple of friends who has gone through depression, but you know, those time I really love karaoke. So each time when I have karaoke session, I will bring them along. So when you are in the karaoke room, so when we are having one group just by ourselves, things are very different because we feel comfortable and they just go along. So it was a weekly affair. And I think that helps to actually clear the depression stage. So that helps. And then slowly we go for dancing, you know. So I think this activity helps for singing, dancing, but you got a good group of friends like that to encourage that person. So it has proven effective for what I have gone through with a couple of friends. So this is rather than if you are in the mood of in the stage of depression, you be with yourself and then not mingling around. So it worsen because they got many things in their mind to think. But if you are actually bringing along to really expose them, so they cheer up, so they speak up. So this is also one to dilute this type of challenges. It really has proven good result. So maybe whoever gone through that, be active in the activities. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
If I may add to that, I have two points to make here. Number one is that when somebody I can't speak for others, but for me, when I'm in a depression episode, I'm not sad per se, but more like numb. Like I don't feel anything. I don't feel like doing anything. I lose interest in everything.
Hmm.
And I find that I want to get out of bed. I want to go out and see my friends. But for some reason, my brain and my body are just not allowing me to do so. They just want to stay in bed, curled up all day. Yeah, so it's a battle sometimes to just, pick yourself up and get out of bed. And yeah, so it's not as easy as, just simply going out. Although I do admit that I have to force myself to do it sometimes because you just need to do what you got to do to survive. And number two, kudos to you, Betty, for taking your friends out for karaoke. Although I can tell that, sometimes my singing would probably make other people depressed. But yeah, that is an interesting thing to me because I remember my psychiatrist asked me to start journaling my emotions. But I am a lazy person. I don't, as much as I love writing stories, I don't really like penning my emotions into a diary or whatever. And then I asked her, can I do something else? I don't like journaling. And then she asked me, okay, what brings joy to you? And without thinking, I just said makeup. I love makeup. I love dressing. I love putting on makeup. And then she said, okay, do that whenever you feel depressed. Even if you're not going, even if you're just staying home all day, just put on makeup. Do what gives you joy. So yeah, and this goes back to what Elle was saying. What the point I was speaking to Elle about. Healing is not just about taking medications. It's about doing things that give you joy, doing things that motivates you. And if makeup gives me joy, I do it. It may not work for others. Other people may hate makeup, but I love makeup and that works for me. So I do that to keep my mood stable and happy.
Thank you so much, Betty. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think the axiom "you do you" is a very powerful axiom. It's like you know what makes you feel happy. You know what brings joy to yourself. So
Yes.
that's a very important axiom that all of us should follow. Is there any other anyone who want to ask after any question or any sharing, any extra sharing? Anyone?
Yuva, ask your question.
No, I'm just opening the floor to everyone who want to ask question. If no, I'm going to ask my question, Afzan.
Yes.
Okay, Afzan. My question is, we all applaud your courage to share your story, but not just that, we also applaud your clarity of mind. The clarity of mind to use your condition as the token of strength to help others in need. So my question to you is, what is the turning point or the aha moment which make you realize, okay, I'm going to use my condition as my strength to help others?
Okay. I think for me, I was always under the assumption that somebody with mental disorders come from a broken family, come from, a lineage of criminals. That was the stigma that or the misconceptions that I had about people with mental disorders until it happened to me. And before I started therapy, I was actually having suicidal ideation. I was not actively looking for ways to die, but I was in the mindset that I'm in so much pain. I just wanted the pain to end. And that scared me. It shocked me because I grew up in a happy family. We are very loving family. My parents were they're always very loving and supportive. I was not abused in any way, and I was an architect. I had a good job. I was a straight A student. I had everything going on for me, and I thought, hey, if this could happen to me, somebody who grew up in a relatively normal household, a normal upbringing, good friends, good grades, good job, good pay, good everything, then it could happen to anybody else. So, and the turning point also was that I myself was afraid to admit that I had bipolar disorder because I was working. What if I told my boss I have bipolar disorder, would that be grounds for termination? Would I be terminated? Because who would want a bipolar architect to design a building for them, right? Yeah, but then I figured, if I can manage my illness, it means other people can too. Of course, not discounting the fact that I am one of the lucky ones because I have a very strong support system. And I understand that not everybody is as lucky as me because I've met people who literally have to go through this battle alone without any support from their family or friends. Yeah, so, and I figured, that person needs a friend, needs to know that they're not alone. And what better way to do that than to speak up and share my story, because we might not be in the same boat, but I suppose we're in the same ocean.
Lovely, Azlan. Lovely answer, Azlan. So what I can say in short is that you have to help yourself. You have to fill your own cup first before you can try to fill others' cup. Right.
Yes, yes. I remember a line from a song from one of my favorite musicals, Bombay Dreams. Precious gifts cannot come from empty hands.
Wonderful, Azlan.
Mm.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story. So I would like to give opportunity to Andrea to say anything. Andrea?
Have you reached the hotel yet, Andrea?
Yeah, yes, I reached finally. So I was listening at the same time. So it's very hard to find in Korea the places because it's a bit different, the numbering of the streets and But I found it, and it was lovely to have you, Afzan. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
sharing the story, and also thank you for everyone for asking questions. And we will work with you on the podcast, and we're looking forward to have this in a podcast format also. And thank you, Yuva, for taking over and for hosting it. If anyone else who would like to host, please let me know. I would love to give more opportunity to everyone to practice and to just to be in the host position for a while to see how it is and how you could do that. Thank you so much, guys. It was really lovely to listen to you.
Thank
Yes,
you so
Yuva,
much.
I might need your help, Yuva, to start my podcast about mental health. I'm gonna call it Going Mental.
That's a good name. Call it going. Call it going. Call it going mental. Okay, that's a good name. Yeah,
Yes,
love it.
yes.
Yep. We should discuss the plan soon.
Catchy
Yes.
title, Afghan, and it also represents what it's about.
Yes, because I want to approach mental health with humor and not, I mean, I get that mental health and mental disorders are like, it's a serious topic, but, you know, you shouldn't take life too seriously. And just like I'm not taking my bipolar disorder too seriously, you know, it's part of me, it's what I have, but it's not who I am. So that is the approach I want to go with.
Yeah. And for everyone, I'm so sorry for the share screen mistake because it's a rookie mistake. So now I know the hardship Andrea facing every week hosting the meeting. Now I know the, the hardship. So yep, it's a rookie mistake. It will not happen again. So yep.
I
So
noticed it, you are, but I didn't want to break your concentration, so I kept my peace.
well, Christian, I was hoping for you to notify me, but it's okay, Christian. Thank you so much.
No, I didn't want you to get distracted. I wanted you to go with the flow of it, but Al
Yeah.
told you, so it's okay.
Yep. No worries, Christian. Thank you so much, Christian. So okay, we are all is done is done. Okay, so I think we can sum up by saying what is the thing that what is something that you learned from this story? Maybe everyone can share something. Everyone want to go first?
As I was saying, you were, and I think Adza and I take the same approach. Let it out. Don't let it fester inside you. It will cause other health problems. And as I said, it lightens the load and it helps others to feel like they're not alone. So yeah, so basically reach out. Don't try to be the hero by keeping it in and thinking that keeping quiet is being strong. Unfortunately, it's not.
Thank you
And
so much. Yep. Good.
it takes strength to admit that you have a problem.
Yeah.
It's not weak. It takes strength to admit you have a problem. And when you say it out loud, it makes it real. And when it's real, then you know what to do next.
Correct. This is tied to what they say. You need to realize there's a problem or an issue, recognize it, then you see what next to do. Okay, I will stop talking. Who wants to go next?
Thank you so much, Christian.
I'll go next. What I realized from Afzan's story and of her as a person is, no matter what, in a lot of cases, it's just such a mental challenge and such a daily challenge. But despite all that, by God's grace, that, you can be so productive, like every one of us, despite our limitations or illnesses, can be so productive if, as she says, we have the strength and with support and, just do what we want to do. I think that's something that it gives hope to a lot of people, because people think that their life is ending because of their illness. They can't do much, but Afzan has proven in so many ways that you can be a productive human being, and you can be more than just productive. You can be like awesome in the way you're projecting yourself towards the outer world, the rest of the world. So yeah, thank you for sharing that, Afzan. Thank you for sharing yourself.
Thank you.
Okay, I go
Anyone want to go
next.
next?
Yeah. I feel the whole night we are listening to this brave story that Afsan has shared. a lot of guts for you. I salute you. And the thing that I learned is believe in yourself, which you have proven, because the inner strength in you has really made you believe in yourself that you can do it. And you have proven that you have done. And keep it up that way, Afzan. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Betty.
Most welcome.
Anyone want to go next?
Jack, you want to go next?
Can I? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I can go next.
Oh, okay. Okay, Jack, then Anjali.
I'm trying to meddle with this, how to unmute myself and how to get onto it. But anyway, Jack, go first. Yeah.
Okay, Afzan. Actually, I wanted to thank you a lot for today's speech. You know, it's encouraging me quite a lot.
Okay, Anjali, you want to share?
Yeah, I've got off track a little bit. But Afzan, I think your experience and how you are dealing with your issues you are facing is very encouraging and motivational. I have experience, personal experience of someone who is who has been depressed and not bipolar, but I find that the support system is very, very important because sometimes you are close to somebody, you can see that the behavior and all that slowly they are going towards stress or depression or whatever issues. So when we are alert, our loved ones are a little bit alert, then they can straight away start intervening before it happens full scale. And it depends on what, sorry, I'm going a little bit long because I was trying to get, when it comes to, you need a holistic approach. Medication is one, and depends on who you see. If you go to there are different stages of experts you can go to, like experts like counselor, therapists, psychologists. I believe in all this before going to a psychiatrist, but depends on case by case, because psychiatrists, their main goal, or usually, correct me if I'm wrong, is to give medication. But it helps you to calm down, to accept things and all that. But at the same time, then you go for other interventions and practice them, right? So I think very motivational, the realization of the issues we are facing, sharing it, and the more we share and get personal skills that will help us. It can be spirituality, it can be, like you say, meeting friends, reading and approaching it. But no use pretending it's not there. We just have to accept it, deal with it, and move on. And genetics is another cause of it. Sometimes it's no fault of ours. We are
Yes.
okay, but it happens. So I think it's a continuous struggle. We are okay, and then sometimes we go off the wagon like that. It comes again, different challenges. But as I said, identification is one thing, but we don't brand ourselves, oh, I'm depressed or what. We don't do that,
And bring
But
Thank you so much, Anjali. L?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for you to become my pelakon. Because when I first talked to you, you say you express a keen interest. So
Yes.
you still can do it, you become act in one of my advertisements or drama or movies or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Just give me a call. You have my number.
yeah, whenever you're ready, I'm always welcome you. Like what Jack also has done it at an age. So, now always believe in yourself. Always do it while we are still can. And we can
Yes.
still do whatever we can, and always be positive minded. So don't put things when things are down. You can always come up again. So like what you say, you just go out for a walk, just go to wander and look at nature, look at the birds fly,
Yes.
look at the nature, hug a tree or something, just walk on the grass barefooted, Make sure the grass there got no kata or what, or no grasses or whatever, yeah. So just walk around, around the tree, then just enjoy the nature, So then this will calm your
Yeah.
mind down and then be more peaceful, And you
Yes.
can just pause, whatever we do, in our life. Yeah. Thank you.
That's true.
Yes,
Yes,
Jack?
Jack.
Yes, Afzan, what just now Dr. Anjali was talking to us about, to not be alone, and then we have our own depression, must bring it out, not to keep it ourselves.
Afzan, what would you like to be known? Because I think sometimes people identify you with the illness, but that's not right? Because you are Afzan, who happens to have
Yes.
bipolar disorder. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and you are Jag, who happens to have Parkinson. But I know how
Yes.
it affects your life. But I think people should be more considerate to identify you as the person you are rather than the illness you have. What do you say, Afzan?
Yes. Like I said before, I have bipolar disorder. I'm not bipolar. I have bipolar disorder. I'm not bipolar. Because when I say I'm bipolar, it's like saying that is my identity. But I have bipolar disorder. It's something that I have. It's an illness that I have. Yeah. So yeah, I like to be known for, for me, my character, I'd like to be remembered for the way I treat people, good or bad, because it's in my character. It's not because of my illness. Granted, there are moments when uh the symptoms of bipolar disorder affects the way I interact with people, but a lot of times, yeah, I'd like to be known for the person that I am, not the illness that I have.
Yeah, I agree with you, Afsan, because I've got a friend who always tells me you are not having Parkinson, Jack. You better change the word from Parkinson to some other word. So she said, I'm having a name of a flower. It starts with DFO, difosa, something like that. So each time she's beside me, I dare not tell anybody that I'm having Parkinson's.
I think Afzan, I was reading somewhere and we said we shouldn't claim ownership. Oh, I have this or that. Just let
Yes.
it go into the universe. Forget about it. Don't brand ourselves with that. You know, don't say I have this. That means it's going to be with you.
Yes, true.
Let it go. Forget it. Don't have to
Yeah.
tell. I know it's easy to say, but don't say I have
Yes.
heart problem, I have this. Either it's all negativity in our negative vibes, and it spoils when the moment we say I have, although it's I have, but I'm not that. But it's like, to me, I personally feel I should. I mean, I don't have that, but even talking about aches and pains with age and all that, to say I have this, I have that, and all that, it just so negative. I mean, we know we have it, but let it go and forget it and deal and move on, that sort of thing. If forever, if you say I have, and then I do this, I do that, but it's still there.
I think in
Yeah.
Afzan's case, it is her arsenal actually, because
Yeah.
her purpose in life,
Yes.
Is to do
yeah,
that.
is
Yeah.
using,
Yeah. I know, but never mind.
Yeah.
It's, I
I
have it, and this is how I deal with it, and this is what I've done. I'm sharing with you, and anybody at large, and let's move on with that. If we do things, but we still claim to have that, I think any issue we have, we can lessen the effect or deal with it a little. Easy to talk, I will tell you that, because different issues, different approach, and different personalities, different level of dealing with it and all that. But it's something work in progress. It's dynamic. It will change for the better. You always have that hope. Yeah. Who
Yeah,
knows?
maybe.
A few years
Mm.
from now, you will know more. I used to have, you know we have moved on, and it's I don't think it's something that we live in for the rest of our lives. No, as we become better and better, our mood swings or whatever we face will be, I hope, for all of us, challenges will become less and less as we go up, progress in life. Yeah, more maturity, more strength, etc. And all the best for all of us. I think no matter how young or how old we are, we have challenges, not our own, our loved ones, our children, our grandchildren. Life never ends without problems. So getting the right approach, getting the right help, the right skills will definitely help us in our going mental journey. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Harold. This has been a very powerful session. I mean, like, it's like a tragedy, like, unfortunately, tragedy of this era that, most of us are being identified for one dark spot in our life. I think this is a fine time to change all that. I think what I concur 100% with what Betty said. don't identify yourself with what with your condition. Identify with your character, with your strength, with your prowess, with with your talent. I think it's time that we should create this principle. Whenever we identify ourselves, we identify with our name, with our strength, with our talent, with our power. I think that's the best way to find perfect way to end this session today. So, but anyone before that, is there anyone else want to like share something or what they learned from today's session?
Afzan, final words. I'd love to hear more. What would you expect? Like, I mean, what do you hope for? Like, I mean, talking to communities like us, what would you?
You mean what do I hope to get from you all?
No, I mean in the sense that generally, like what you shared with us today, and
Yeah.
what can you see or what would you desire from outcomes like this or from communities that you address like this? What do you really hope for, for in line of what you do? Like, what do you hope for that could improve?
Well, I want people to be able to talk about mental health, mental disorders as freely as they can talk about heart disease, kidney disease, diabetes. You can, when you meet someone, it's never wrong to ask like, oh, how's your heart condition? How's your diabetes? Is your blood sugar level okay? Are you taking medications for your diabetes? Are you taking medication for your kidneys? How high is your creatinine today? That is all considered normal conversation. But the minute you ask somebody, how's your mental health today? You can literally hear crickets. So I just want to be able, people to be able, Malaysians in particular, to be able to talk about mental health as normally as possible and having open conversations about it. Not without having to hide behind just exclusive forums or just behind closed doors, but in public in general.
Yeah, that's
That
wonderful. I hope they do.
that
Yes.
that and also to change maybe this is a bit this might take a longer time, but I hope to see change in the way businesses or companies support their employees who have mental health issues, because I am working for a Filipino company now. And they actually provide 24 hours access to psychologists, and also mental health leaves, where you can just take the day off, no need to produce MC. You can just take the day off for your mental health, and we get
Oh, that's
24 hours access to psychologists, and it's all private and confidential. Your managers won't know, your CEO won't know that you are actually talking to the psychologist. So I hope to see that in Malaysia, because
yeah.
Philippines
I hope so
are
too.
already doing it.
I hope so too. Great, that's great. I never thought that happened in an Asian country. That's wonderful. I've heard it's happened in Europe in a
Yeah.
few companies, but it's good to know
Yeah.
that Asia also so following. Yeah, I hope Malaysia follows suit. Thanks for sharing,
Yes.
Afzan.
Thank you everyone for taking the time to listen to me babble on.
No worries. I mean, it's a pleasure having you, Afzan, and pleasure and to hear your story. And yeah, thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing your story, Afzan. And thank you all for making this session a very powerful one. So to end this session, I would like to end this session with a quote from my favorite poet, Rumi. The wound is the place where the light enters you, which means here painful experiences or wounds can also be opportunities for growth, enlightenment, and self-discovery. The light symbolizes these positive outcomes that can emerge from facing and learning from difficult situations. So with that, we're going to end this session right now.
Can, can,
Yeah.
can I
Yeah.
also give leave you all with one of my most favorite quotes of all
Sure,
time.
Afzan. Sure, sure.
Yes,
It's actually
yes,
from the
please.
it's actually from the TV series Criminal Minds. Yes, I know. Don't ask me why I binge
My
watch
favorite.
Criminal
It's
Minds.
one of my
It's
favorite.
Mine too.
yeah, it's a quote from one of the characters. It's actually Dr. Spencer Reed's mother. She has in the series she has schizophrenia, and one of the things she said stuck with me, and it's been my favorite quote of all time until now. She said, "It helps that people think you're crazy. They don't argue."
Yeah, it's good.
Very, very
Actually,
well
that's a
said.
Oh,
good
good.
one.
That's a good one,
Yes,
That's a
Afzan.
good
I like
one. Yeah.
that.
Maybe
Yep.
we should use
Really
this
good.
when we should use it when we encounter certain characters.
Yes, that is why I don't get upset when people say you must be crazy because
I think it happens
yeah.
naturally.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Afzan. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, we should conclude this session tonight. Thank you so much. Thank
Yes.
you
Have
all.
a
Thank
great
you,
week,
everyone.
Have a
everyone.
Bye.
great
Take
week,
care,
everyone. Take
and
care. Bye
thank
bye.
you,
Thank you very
Afzan,
much,
Yuva,
Afzan.
for
Thank you.
And
Bye.
being on
also,
the
Bye.
hosting.
and also, everyone, happy June.
Happy June.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
happy June.